All right. Good morning. I'm here with Rob Sturrus. I hope I said that right. And
Correct.
you're with Alight. And I wanted to, first of all, congratulate you and the organization, the company, for being a top veteran-friendly employer here at the U.S. Veterans Magazine. And I have the pleasure of interviewing this morning. And we want to know a little bit more about you. If you could tell us your title, how you got started, your role there, some of your responsibilities, and how long you've been there and all that. So tell us a little bit about you, Rob.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. Great topic for me to talk about. Very proud of our accomplishments here. So I'm our Chief Client Officer here at Alight. I've been at the organization for coming up to 27 years. So
Oh, wow.
most of my
Long time.
professional career, was never my plan, but just fell in love with this organization, and even as it's changed over the years, just found challenge after challenge. So Alight is very proud of the work we do across many of the major employers in the country. So we serve about 70% of the Fortune 100 and 50% of the Fortune 500. And what we do is an extension of the HR departments, and we help 35 million employees optimize and utilize the benefit programs that are available to them through their employer. So as the chief client officer, I got the honor of working directly with our client base on how do we make the experience the absolute best possible for employees, whether they're going through an amazing event like a new baby or whether they're going through a challenging situation, such as a death or a medical diagnosis. So it's truly an honor to work with the best employers out there.
Outstanding. So I know that you are very familiar with veterans and you have programs available. And I wanted to ask, Alight has been recognized as a top veteran-friendly employer for this year. What does this recognition mean to you personally? And what does it say about the culture at Alight and Team Valor, that veteran professionals network that it was actually created in 2021?
Yeah, we are very proud of the work that we do to support our veterans, and being named a top veteran-friendly employer in 2025 is more than just a badge of honor. It's an affirmation of the values that we live. So this recognition, validates the work that we've done to create the right workplace for veterans and military families. Many companies hire veterans, and it was certainly the trend. And it's interesting in talking to others when I ask the next question of why, and not everybody can answer that why. And for us, we believe that's very important, and we continue to go further in the why. We believe that the veteran and the military spouse community brings such different skills, background, and experience and training that it's not just the right thing to do to support that community, but it's actually really good business sense. And so, being recognized with this honor really shows that us doing, the right thing and driving the right business results is being appreciated and recognized by the broader community.
Another factor that I know that you guys really do consider is not only the veteran, but the military spouses. And I wanted to just ask you a little bit about that, and why should a veteran or military spouse consider Alight as a career destination?
Yeah, so when I think about somebody attached to the military, whether they be a member themselves or a spouse, I would say I would boil it down to five main reasons that somebody should consider Alight. The first is the tools and the programs that we give to support. So we have a homegrown MAPS, MAPS, Military Assimilation Program to Success. So it's an initiative that we help the veterans and the spouses transition into corporate life. It's two main pillars: caring for your place at Alight and also caring for your well-being. We firmly believe that it's not just our job to assimilate the veteran into Alight or the spouse into Alight, but also help Alight assimilate into how to capitalize on a veteran or a military spouse's experience and strengths. And so our whole 360 program gives both of those avenues. Along with the programs, we also have a number of tools that translate military experience. So one of our favorite tools is out in our career site where you can put in your job within the military and it'll help translate what that means in corporate. We find oftentimes the languages are just different. I mean, it's all English, but
That's right.
people, yeah. And so we use technology to actually help a veteran translate their experiences into how that can apply. I think secondly, why somebody should, look at Alight is the rewards and recognition that we've received, similar to why we're doing, this interview today. But we've been recognized as a top 10 military friendly and spouse employer for 3 consecutive years. We've earned a 5-star rating from the Vets Index in 2025. And these accolades just reflect a sustained commitment to supporting the community. Finally, third, I would say you referenced, Team Valor. That's our employee resource group. So that's a little bit more than 100 strong colleagues that provides mentorship, development, and community outreach and keeps our veterans connected. I will also say that that is not just a veteran group, but a lot of allies in there. So Valor stands for Veterans and Allies Leading Organizational Results. And so it's often a number of our members are military moms and dads as well, with a son or daughter, serving. So very supportive. We talked about some of the military spouse specific benefits. We support the 4+1 commitment from Hiring Our Heroes, which requests that employers do one of 4 things. We actually do all 4 to support our military spouses. And the latest one that we added was a 5-day paid time off for anybody undergoing a permanent change of station, a PCS. And so a lot of flexibility that we provide our
That's good.
spouses
Yeah.
in that. Yeah, very,
Very
very
important.
proud of that. Yep.
Absolutely.
And we've had a number of them go through that. And it's just the comment I get, casually is, you get me, you understand me, like others don't. And that was really our intent. And then finally, Mona, I would say you probably pick up on the theme, but we just overall have a culture that honors service and not only respects the person for what they've done for our country, but also respects the skills and experiences that they've accumulated along the way. And we help them apply that. We don't believe transition to corporate life is a second career. We actually think it's just a continued extension of the experiences in life that somebody's been living, and we think that's really important for success.
Absolutely. Another initiative that you have going on that I think is so important that I'd like you to just kind of touch on is, can you walk me through, the onboarding initiatives like your buddy system? Because I think that is so important, because you could only imagine the fear factor that comes in when a new, veteran is coming on. But you have the buddy system, it helps new veterans and military affiliated hires transition smoothly. Could you touch a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. Our programs are routed in allowing a diverse group of future leaders, thrive at Alight. Here we're focused on the military, but we seek obviously a pretty broad, diverse workforce. Particularly if you go back to what we do as a company, we serve 35 million Americans, so we need to reflect our customer base, and our customer base is very diverse. So we have that. So, through our, like the buddy system, which we route in our, that maps that military assimilation program to success. We work with managers to build out the networks, focus on the cultural competencies, increasing business acumen. So sometimes our veterans will come in and have obviously been trained within the military hierarchy, and help them understand kind of how that translates to, corporate America and financials and just general, business acumen. Also with the, learning some of the softer well-being skills like balancing work and life. And, we are, I believe corporate America is probably less structured, than the military, and that can be a blessing and a curse. The freedom and the flexibility is great, but if you're used to a very structured environment, that can also be in a odd way a bit overwhelming. And so we provide a lot of well-being resources, through our maps and through our buddy system in order to make sure nobody gets lost along the way as they're growing here.
That's outstanding. I just want to commend you for that. I also want you to touch base, and I know that you're very familiar with the qualities that veterans possess. when they come on board. But can you touch a bit, because not everyone always talks about the military spouse, but or either one, but I'd like you to answer this question. What unique qualities do you think military veterans and military spouses bring to the workforce, particularly in a company like Alight?
Sure.
Yeah, like the qualities. What do you notice?
Sure. And I'll hit on both groups. I think they're a little bit different and both very special.
Important.
So yeah, from the veteran
Absolutely.
side, we see traits in leadership and in teamwork, traits that in corporate America you hope somebody assimilates over the course of just osmosis through years and years. Whereas we see, military having very structured programs on how to grow leadership and teamwork and problem solving. A quick use case, which I find fascinating, that some of our veterans taught me early on, is crisis management. And now, let's be clear, generally speaking, crisis management in corporate America is nothing like crisis management on a battlefield, but it's all relative, right? We all have,
Right.
And so I noticed many years ago when we would have a quote unquote crisis here. So think of it as maybe like the system's down or system outage. And you think about you get a room full of people together, and naturally there's some urgency and some tension, kind of in the room. And I would notice some of our veterans would almost go the opposite. They would go calmer. And so we had a dialogue about this one time, and they were like, well, yeah. And they shared some of their experiences, and a system outage is nothing like what they've been through. And they've been specially trained to react calmly, rationally, and just work through a problem in ways that we don't always see as structured training in corporate America. So really great to see some of that problem solving and how that translates into corporate America. But again, corporate America really needs to understand the calmness coming from a veteran is not a apathy. It's actually a strength. So,
Exactly.
yeah. On the spouse side, we've had tremendous success in the last couple of years recruiting a number of spouses. We find, generally speaking, they are often managing a household, sometimes singularly if there's a deployment, of their partner and their spouse. And so, we find a lot of organization, a lot of clarity of thought, a lot of purpose driven, getting things, done. And so we find a little bit more settlement, as we look at some of the evolving non-military workforce that comes in. Now you look at some of the stats on, changing of jobs and, seeking that, perfect career. We see a little bit more stability in employment with our military spouse community. And particularly with our programs that allow them to often take their job with them if they do move. It's kind of a win-win for both of us.
Excellent. Excellent. So for my last question, it's more about looking ahead. How do you see Alight continuing to evolve its support with the veteran and military community? And are there any future programs or partnerships or goals you're especially excited about?
I would say not necessarily a program per se, but an area I'm really excited about is the fast-moving AI, artificial intelligence, and technology. Even the best of corporate, it is hard to keep up on that evolving, technology as is, and it's just going to get tougher and tougher. And so we are on the cutting edge, given what we do as a business and how we need to, face off with our customers. And so when we look at this, rapidly evolving technology, we view military and military hiring as a key engine towards keeping us relevant and keeping us up to speed, knowing that the military is going to, have some of the best, trained in some of that technology. So there's a bunch of other ways I could answer that question, but targeting in on one that's very relevant to us right now, we're really excited on being able to tap into the amazing training programs that the military gives and be able to capitalize on that here in the AI and technology space.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, you guys are obviously doing the right thing. And with you being there for so long, really it's just a testament of what an outstanding company Alight is. I want to thank you for all that you do for all our veterans and the spouses. And I wish you continued success and growth.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time, Mona. Have a great day.
Absolutely. You too.
Bye.
Thank you.